Hello and welcome back to Single Race Mode, the series that isn't a series at all. We just go racing in a game of my choice and have a bit of a chat. Today, Dakar 2. But what's it about?
Held once a year, it is the pinnacle of endurance motorsports. A grueling race from France through the arid heart of Africa. Only those with the strongest spirit will succeed. To all those who accept this challenge, it is known as the Dakar.
Yes, the world-famous rally raid event that started in 1979, originally as the Paris-Dakar Rally, which originally that was the start and end point, but it's moved about geographically a bit since then, to the point where actually it doesn't even touch Paris, Dakar, or any of those originating countries currently being held in Saudi Arabia. Now, it's a rally raid event, which, to my understanding, is there is no set route. You just get given point to point and you have to navigate there however you choose. And because, as you can see in a lot of the previews, there's open desert sections, so it's not even just a case of, oh, you've got lots of routes you could take, lots of different roads. There are very often just no roads. And as you can see, that presents a lot of hazards. Survival, just as important as how quickly you get from point A to point B. Basically, if you get to point B, well done. This intro giving us maybe a little bit of an idea of the challenges we'll face. I was actually suggested by a friend of the channel and channel member Martins to try a Dakar game. And he suggested the predecessor, which was also a PS2 game, and two more recent entries that were on PC. And for some reason, I've gone with this one. Don't know why I ended up picking this one, but I'd not played it at all, didn't know it existed, so this is really a true first look. And that's kind of what's going on in this video. Going to have a little look at this game, my first impressions, what it's like to drive the different classes, how the game's set up. So like a little first impressions review of sorts, but there'll also be some sections where I talk a little bit about some personal stuff and what it means for the channel. I have disappeared off the face of the earth recently, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that and what the plan is going forward for things. Obviously, I'll put links in the description to certain sections, so if you just want to, listen to the bits that interest you, or just watch it with the sound off and enjoy some retro gameplay, have at it. But the intro sold it to me. This looks like fun. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I don't know why we've gone a little bit Mummy Returns at the end here. I assume that's not something that's going to happen. But here we go. Let's get into it. Dakar 2 for the PS2. So this game was released in 2003 and is based on the 2002 running, which started in Arras in northern France, went through Madrid, and then ended in Dakar. So we're kind of doing that, stage 1 being called Artois, and then we're going through Spain in that route. And interestingly, that's not point to point. We've got a circuit. It's obviously a very windy, twisty-looking circuit, but it's a circuit nonetheless. So that's an interesting choice, why they wouldn't just go point to point. We'll look into that a bit more in a second. But we've got cars, which is mainly like pickups. So we've got a choice of 3. The rest you can unlock. Then we have the full-on trucks, which should be an interesting experience. And then we have bikes as well, which we have a selection of 3 to choose from. So we're going to try all of the vehicles at least once in this video, so I'm going to start with the cars, and I'm going to start with a car that had a bit of a boost around this time, thanks to Top Gear, and we're going to go with the indestructible Toyota Hilux. So we've got some setup choices to make, and we've got a little bit of explanation there on the left of what those choices mean, which is good, so I can kind of make some informed decisions. I like this is nice. So, based on the short summary that was given underneath the track map of how much tarmac and how much dirt was in this stage. Going to make some switches, going to go to manual gears, and then we're going to go racing. And here we go, welcome to the first stage of the Dakar. The Hilux going to take its place on the grid. Now I have turned damage on, so that is something we are going to have to manage and be aware of as we race.
Welcome to the beautiful Artois region of northern France. Today's rallying takes place on a stage chosen for its speed and spectacular countryside. This stage consists of compacted dirt, gravel roads and a wide tarmac highway section that provides some real high-speed thrills.
Well, you've sold it to me. Okay, so here we are on the grid. To get to the next stage, we have to qualify within 4 minutes 53. So it doesn't actually say, is this one lap? Are we needing to do multiple laps? We will find out. But we're off and running. So, considering it's a pickup truck, it does feel quite nimble. Oof, having to really hustle it through that section. That was quite fun. And we do have other traffic, so I think it's good. It's like an actual stage where you would potentially catch up other people in the stage, and we're currently fastest. Is that overall? Is that just for the cars? I'm not sure, but great start. Incredible start. So yeah, we will have to manage some traffic up ahead. So there's only 5 splits then, based on that thing on the left. So are we just doing one lap, or we'll work it out as we go anyway. We do have a truck and I think a car by the looks of it to overtake. But yeah, the handling does feel quite nimble for a car of this size. In fact, if I remember rightly, I had to turn the steering sensitivity down. It was very, very sharp. Handling isn't bad though. It's not like completely one-dimensional. I would say it's just a little bit lighter than maybe what you'd expect. So it'll be interesting to see how that compares when we jump on a bike or in a truck. But we've done 3 checkpoints now. We're only a few tenths ahead of Kleinschmidt in second. So this must be a couple of laps. Those 5 blocks must be for 1 lap, so maybe we're doing a couple of laps. It'd be nice to have it made clear. Honestly, I know I'm being a bit of a stickler, but it just would be nice if it was a point-to-point stage rather than a circuit. I don't know loads about the Paris-Dakar Rally, so I don't know if they have special stages that are on a circuit, and maybe it opens out later. If you are a more avid watcher of the Dakar than me, and I'm just being a stickler because this isn't what I thought it was going to be, and actually this is right, please do correct me in the comments. But I didn't think this was the format, if I'm honest. But anyway, compared to what it's like to real life, let's just stick with what we have in front of us and what we know. And so far, it's actually quite fun. Just under a second ahead of Kleinschmidt. And you may have spotted I put hard difficulty on as well, so this isn't too bad for an opening run, although I'd have just smashed the side of the Hilux in, although it's still buffed out very nicely. Such is the robustness of this car. But I'm enjoying this so far. This is quite a good challenge. Clattered the car a little bit as well, and no damage so far, so then maybe that's quite forgiving. Let's see how we can fit. This must be, yeah, second of the final lap based on the time we have left, and considering we're supposed to be first, so yeah, this must be lap 2 of 2. And I have to say as well, you can feel the difference when you move from the tarmac to the dirt. The handling does change appropriately. Oh, we have lost a bit of time though. Kleinschmidt just into the lead by 0.3 of a second. This is going to be quite close for if we're going to win this stage. We are at least comfortably looking like we're going to qualify and meet the qualifying time and not get knocked out, which would be good. Still very close between us and Kleinschmidt, and Sousa's not far behind in third. Just taking it nice and easy. Being very careful with the revs, because there was an engine warning light, so that does mean, I'm guessing, you can over-rev the engine and give yourself engine damage. But this has gone quite well. There's not really much damage on the Hilux. It's got dirty, nice dirt effect on the car. Oh, can we nail this final section? It's going to be really close. We're dropping back into the jaws of Sousa though. We're closer to Sousa than we are to Kleinschmidt. This is the final run up to the line now. I think we can just see the line out of this corner. Past the trees, here we go. What have we done? So we've qualified, but where? I think it's going to be close. Just miss out on the stage win. We are second. How close was it? Half a second behind Kleinschmidt. And coming up to a second ahead of Sousa in the end. We did start to shut that gap again. But that was a good run. Although interestingly, the target was 4 minutes 53. Which means technically everyone who was 9th and below technically didn't hit the target that we were set. But you're not telling me that all of these people aren't going to be allowed to continue. Which means it's one of those targets that's arbitrarily set for the player and the player only. And I've gone over this before. You know I feel about it. I hate them. I should have been allowed to have like a terrible stage 1, maybe, 30th, 25th, which considering the amount of opponents would still be like not too bad. And then I should be allowed to carry on. I've said this about Toka as well on the points tally each week. Just let me have a bad weekend or a bad stage and carry on. You know what I mean? Anyway, minor complaint. On we go to Châteauroux. Oh my lord. Oh, what is this? That's ridiculous. So now I'm in complex string. 85% mud. 15% tarmac. That looks ridiculous. In heavy rain as well. So I'm going to make some switches. Let's have a look and think, because obviously 85% mud, little bit of tarmac I think there was. So based on the description we've been given, I think it makes sense to have a harder tyre compound than what we had for the first one, which was a more dustier stage. Tyre pressures can come back to the middle. Gear ratios can go down 1 because it's so twisty. Lots of like stop-starty bits. Bit of a Mickey Mouse stage, truth be told. Because of the twistiness, is it going to be very bumpy as well and muddy? Soft suspension makes sense in theory. I feel like logically those are solid decisions, but let's see how it plays out.
Welcome to the town of Châteauroux in the Val de Loire region of central France. Today's rallying takes place on a purpose-built dirt course on the outskirts of the town. It's been raining heavily, so we're expecting some mud-flinging action this afternoon. There are some really boggy sections over the course, which the drivers will be trying to avoid getting stuck in. But this really is a great stage for those who can handle it.
So he acknowledges there this is a purpose-built stage. So maybe I need to wait to the desert sections to get to the true rally raid experience at point to point. Maybe it does go point to point later on. Answers on a postcard. I.e. the comments for that one. And immediately we get into the twisty nature of this. Is going to twist back on itself so many times. But again, the handling, it feels good in terms of like it consistent. So based on how it was in like the dry and dry mud, sort of dusty. Now we're in like heavy rain, heavy mud. The car does feel a bit heavier. So they've got at least an internal logic, which is all I ask for. A solid internal logic for the handling. It may not be the most realistic. Like I say, the car does feel quite light considering its size. But this is solid. Our first bit of traffic though, and it's not a super quick beginning. Down in 8th, but that's not terrible. Then again, I'm pretty sure 8th would have got me knocked out in the last round, based on the target the game gave you. So maybe I do need to speed it up a little bit. I'm struggling, I'm stuck behind this other car. Just need to try and bully my way through. Oh, that's not worked. We do get around the outside. Okay. Solid for now. I am pushing the limits of this circuit. I've avoided damage so far, but I feel like if I'm not careful, I will pick up some issues. And didn't switch up to second, or from second there for quite a while. Again, got away without any engine damage, so maybe it's quite lenient in that sense. As we approach a truck. It's very tight, this one, and I've lost more time. I think once again it's going to be 2 laps, so hopefully I can at least get my eye in on lap 1 and get a little better. Oh! I spoke too soon. I think I have over-revved the engine, and I do have some engine damage. And what that means is my acceleration and overall power has been cut. And oh, I've just hit something on the inside there. And this is costing me loads of time. And I've just over-revved it in first as well. I'm just giving myself even more engine damage. Oh, no. Oh, and you can see it there. You could feel it when it was on yellow engine damage. Now we're on orange. You can see it very plainly. The car is just struggling to get up to any sort of, like, speed beyond 4th gear. So get up to 4th gear, and then around 60 miles an hour, we just start to struggle. I feel like it's going to be an uphill battle to qualify for the next stage from this one. Enjoying the background music, though. Liking the funk there they've thrown in. I don't mind it. I'm getting creative trying to clear this lorry. This is very messy for now. Considering how twisty the circuit is. Oh dear. We're a long way to 96. I'm not being funny. There should be 96 people competing. They should have all been knocked out in the last round because they didn't make the target. But no, that target's just for me. I should be able to finish 96th and try and carry on the Dakar and see if I can recover. That would be fun. Why are you stopping me from having fun? And we can't complain about the damage. Very much my fault, over-rev the engine. Here's me thinking it was quite forgiving, but no, actually that's fair enough. No complaints there. Oh, actually, after looking at the distribution of the splits and how much time I've got left, this might not be a 2-lapper, this might just be a 1-lap nail-it job. At least I hope so, otherwise I'm really a long way out. If I have to do a 2nd lap after this, I've missed it by a long way. I feel like this is going to be a 1-lap situation. I wish it would tell you more clearly. Oh my word. Head's absolutely gone. It started so well. What happened to the Hilux being indestructible? This feels like it has been destructed. Oh, and the straight line speed sections are not good, and I feel like I'm being caught now. I'm being caught by the truck. Round a roundabout. Bit of air for the fans. Just want to show that I'm still having a good time. And there's the line. Thank God.
Challenge failed.
All right, don't be like that. So we are out. And we qualify 105th. I maintain I should be allowed to carry on, regardless. But Kleinschmidt and Souza are top of the stage, so they seem like the people to beat in the cars category. There we go. Have to go a long way, but we are down in 105th. We're not last, though, incredibly. So some other people clearly having a worse time than me. It's a very minor consolation, I must admit. So is that a case of we can retry?
Overall.
Well, here's the standings overall. Fine. Where have we dropped to in the overall standings? Ooh. 74th. From 2nd to 74th. So I should be allowed to carry on. I'm 74th overall. Just let me carry on and have fun with it. I just don't need this arbitrary, oh, you failed, game over. No, just let me do it. Let me be shit and finish 74th. I'd enjoy that. So, we'll use this as an opportunity then, since we can't carry on with the cars, as I imagine it's going to tell some game over or restart or something. Let's have a look. Yeah, let's quit and use this as an opportunity to try out a different class. That's wishful thinking. Show me crashed in the desert, didn't even see the bloody desert. Anyway, we switch now to the bikes.
3, 2, 1.
So the target is much lower by about 20 seconds or so. Oh dear, that doesn't look great. Oh, and someone's already fallen off. We've already passed someone who's had an accident. Oh, that's that. Yeah, I don't play as many bike games as I do car games, but one of the things I'm always aware of when playing them is something that really sells or breaks the immersion is what the rider animation looks like. And I've got to say, that looks very strange. That just looks really oddly out of proportion. The stance seems unnatural, especially into corners. It just looks very odd. And I'm not just weaving, by the way, to try and test out the animation. You remember I said I thought that the... Oh, no! I think more than the engine would be damaged then, if I'm honest. Got off very likely with that one. Yeah, so I said that the car steering felt very like sharp and light. Well, now we're on the bike. So twitchy, so twitchy. Even on like a lower steering sensitivity, it is so sharp. And I understand that they've had to go in that direction from, you know, cars. It's like, well, comparatively, the bike should feel like this compared to the car, but I think that's because the car was probably a bit lighter to steer than it should have been. The bike feels super agile. I know bikes are agile and more agile than cars, but this feels like a bit much. Feels a bit too snappy. And it isn't helped by the rider animation. In fact, as you can see, I'm going to try a different view here because I think I'm getting put off by that weird stance. So we go first person. I don't know if that's much better, to be honest. The handling is still the handling, unfortunately. We are down in 101st. We do have oh dear. Launching it off the central verge there. Yeah, we do have some engine damage, but there's not loads of straight line sections. It's quite twisty. So if I drive well, might be able to recover, maybe? Tall order once again. Yeah, and I give up on that view. Switch back to this one. And we're 94th. Okay. We can make up time. Let's have a clean second lap, and we might be able to make it through. So as I try and do that, a little channel update then. So yeah, not long ago I did this video where I drove Gilles Villeneuve's Ferrari around Classic Kyle Army and said, sorry I've been a little bit quiet, things have been changing, but so much more on the way, I'll get there. And then I promptly dropped off the face of the earth. I know every time I say sorry for this, everyone is very understanding and very kind and says, oh, it's okay, you know, content comes when it comes. And, you know, we just appreciate it. And, you know, this is why I always try and make very clear, this is not my job. I have a job and a family and the other stuff. I try and do this when I can. And everyone is super understanding and I really appreciate that. I nonetheless feel the need to explain, especially to the channel members as well. We've got channel members who, you know, pay for little perks to do with the channel, including early access to videos, and there's been a couple of members only streams and other stuff as well, which I'm really thankful for. But obviously if I disappear, I feel like more so for them, they're not getting value for money. I know it's only like 99p / 99 euros / 99 cents. Not 99 euros, 99 cents. 99 euros is not a good deal. 99 cents / 99p a month. But even still, paying for a service that has not been super great recently. So I think everyone is owed an explanation. Yeah, so I've moved into this job, which from a creative perspective has been the most fun job I've ever had. Doing work that I absolutely love and allows me to be creative, to kind of do photography and videography and graphic design and be more creative and do fun things. However, because of the industry it's in, which is primarily hospitality, ouch! I was pushing so hard. I've not made it. Even without that crash, I wouldn't have made it. That's a shame. Looks like we're not going to get to the hellish second stage on bikes, so we'll switch to trucks in a second. That's fine. Not a bad recovery after that poor start. We were... Oh, okay, actually, it was...
Let's look at the standings.
All that recovery was for nothing. We ended up 100th. Awful. Well done to Mione on the KTM factory. And before we move on to trucks, just for continuity, let's see the losing animation once again. This time for bikes. Oh, there's no need for that, mate. Okay, on to trucks. The target is now about 30 to 40 seconds higher than the cars one. Away we go. And we're up to 7th gear very early. And as you'd expect, the handling is much heavier on the trucks compared to the cars, and especially so compared to the bikes. But even again, this very big truck still feels... wall there, mate, watch out. This heavy truck still feels surprisingly nimble. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a deal breaker. I still actually think I would quite enjoy trying to play... How are we still first? By 2 seconds? Oh my... Okay, don't mess this up. We could finish with a stage win here. But yes, so it's not a deal breaker. I would say the handling isn't, like, incredible, but it's serviceable. It's got an internal logic. And the thing is, it's not actively horrible. It's not unenjoyable to drive. So honestly, I wouldn't mind trying to go through this game from start to finish and complete the Dakar. We are absolutely flying. This is incredible. I'm going to say no more. I actually don't remember how this goes. But I do have a I was about to say, I do have a feeling I didn't win the stage. That might be it. And I think I've damaged the drive shaft, is that? Some interesting physics there as well, it has to be said. How? We're still up. We're still up by 4/10. This is insane. Wow. Really appreciated the sound effects on that. That's superb. That smash to the cab has hurt the engine, apparently. I think that might be the stage wing gone again. It can all change so quickly. And that's the Dakar for you. Ultra realistic experience. Oh no. But yeah, despite enjoying my work, the fact that it's in hospitality is kind of pressurizing things a little bit. So let me explain. Basically, I'm working for a group of companies, all slightly different, but family run and connected, all in hospitality. I am the first person to be doing this role within the group. I'm the only person in the quote-unquote department. So that's one of the things that, you know, kind of attracted me to it. It's, oh, well, this is a really good opportunity to take this on, make it my own. Got the autonomy, creative freedom, and to really kind of push forward and be successful. But at the same time, it's also a lot of work, and with no, like, full predecessor, there's a lot of things that needed setting up at the beginning as well. So it was just a lot to take on. Then there's the whole fact that it's in the hospitality sector. Now, particularly in the UK, the sector is really being squeezed. It's a really tough industry. The best of times, it's easy come, easy go. But because of the way things are in this country at the moment, even long-standing successful businesses are struggling, and in some cases, closing. So that's it's quite scary. And when you couple that with the fact that obviously last November I was made redundant, you could say I'm slightly sensitive to that. I'm, for want of a better phrase, triggered. Didn't really consider that, how much that would affect me before starting, to be honest. Also, the jobs I've done previously, I've done marketing for companies in like rail industry, construction. And in those industries, the marketing I was doing was to very much support a longer sales process or support a sales and commercial team. In hospitality, it feels much more direct. I could put a post on, and that could make people decide if they want to come to an event or not, where they want to eat tonight, where they want to get married. And because it's a very, very competitive industry, loads of businesses are going to be doing the same thing. So I really feel the pressure to make sure that I'm doing good work and consistent work all the time across the group of companies. So that, coupled with the fact that I was made redundant, means that I have really been putting a lot of pressure on myself and being quite hard on myself. Because bottom line is, I don't ever want to be in that situation again. And when I was made redundant, it was very much unexpected. Did not think we were in that position. It wasn't a bad company. It was a very good company, to be honest. I was doing good work. The industry thought we were doing good work. We were just a victim of circumstance in the industry. So if I can be made redundant from a situation like that, and I'm coming into hospitality, you see why I've been really pressurising myself to do well. Can't believe we finished 8th there, by the way, after the insane scream of what I assume was my co-pilot when we hit that tree. Only 2 seconds off. I mean, we weren't that far ahead of the target time, but we knew that's quite high compared to the leaderboard. But not bad. Not a bad run. So yeah, that combination of adapting to the new role and basically putting an insane amount of pressure on myself because of, you know, that particular situation is where I've been. And my, you know, bosses and manager have been very good with me in saying, look, it's not all on you. We know what you do has an impact, but it's not all on you. You need to stop doing that to yourself. And they've been very supportive. They're happy with the work I'm doing. I know in reality it's just coming from a place of, you know, of what happened to me, of not wanting to be in that situation again. And I just have to be realistic and say, look, as long as you know you're doing enough and that, you know, the people you're working for are happy with what you're doing, there's nothing more you can do than that. Some things are just always going to be out of your control. And now I've accepted that, I've been a little bit kinder to myself. And it means my energy and my drive is coming back for this. I have missed doing it. It's not for lack of not wanting to do it. It's just I've wanted to and just felt so tired. But the energy's coming back. And I'm looking forward to kind of slowly working back up the sort of levels that we were at before. So if you stuck with me, as a watcher, as a subscriber, as a member, I really do appreciate it. I know people say don't apologise, but I still will. Apologies for disappearing. And we'll see how things go. I'm not going to make any promises about how things are going from here. I just need to take it day by day, but I am feeling better and moving towards, hopefully a nice balance once again in this new situation. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed Dakar 2. Flawed, for sure. I do have little niggles with it, as I've mentioned throughout. But fun enough that I wouldn't mind attempting a full run at Dakar. Bikes were definitely my least favourite to drive. Cars probably my most, has to be said. But I'd happily give it a crack at all three. So we might come back to this at some point. Try and time it when Dakar is actually on at the start of the year. That's when I recorded this. That's how long it's taken me to finally make use of this footage. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you for another video very soon.